everybody calls themselves omnichannel. What, according to you, is truly omnichannel, and what is not omnichannel?
I just want critical complaints related to probably delivery issues or complaints related to product being damaged, because that is where my CRM team, who's working on field as well, can go ahead and make some changes.
I mean, if I am someone who looks at a contact center report and later on look at a social report or anything related to my customer care.
But there are certain brands who say that, okay, I get so much of data on a daily basis.
Hello and welcome to the podcast series of CX with Konnect. Today I have Eryl with me. Eryl is our solutions consultant. And in the last two podcasts, we really spoke about 4 pillars of omnichannel customer experience and one view of the customer. And I think those discussions were more on the theory side of things. So what we wanted to do in this podcast was bring the real use case of how customers use it. And Eryl is one of those guys who has worked with customers across geographies. I think Eryl, apart from Antarctica, I don't think any other continent is left. So please bring in those angles of how customers use omnichannel customer experience in various parts of the world, like the way things happen in our part of the world versus how it happens in maybe US or Middle East or LATAM. I think the story resonates well with every single brand. No matter where you offer your solutions, everybody speaks about one view of the customer across channels. And what is that, and along with AI, how things have changed. I wanted you to be part of this session because you're the implementation champ and you work with so many customers. So please introduce yourself and then we'll take this discussion.
Yeah, absolutely. Firstly, Samir, thanks for having me here. Pleasure to be here at this podcast. And, my name is Eryl and I'm the solutions consultant here at Konnect Insights. And majorly what my focus while working with customers is firstly helping them with the implementation, understanding their pain points. And like you rightly said, the pain point for most of the customers in today's day is having that omnichannel experience while they are dealing with their customers who are reaching out to them. Because every customer that reaches out to you, you do not want to be asked for your contact information. You need to know that this is that one user. Even if I write for the 10th time, you need to know that this is me. Yeah. And that's what everyone's looking for. And having one solution that does everything, not just using one tool for social listening, another one for contact center, probably CRMs and different marketing automation tools, not talking to each other. They don't want the siloed experience. So that is what we're trying to solve. And day in and day out, we work with customers trying to solve that pain point by getting the angle of the marketplace, integrations. So yeah, that's what we will be talking as well today. And I'm really excited to be part of this podcast. Sure.
It's great to have you here. One more thing that we have seen working with so many customers is that they use some tools and kind of siloed approach, but every single platform out there really talks about themselves being omnichannel. It's a buzzword, and people who are offering just a point solution like a social tool or call it as a ORM or they were also calling themselves omnichannel.
Yeah,
so. Because everybody calls themselves omnichannel, what according to you is truly omnichannel and what is not omnichannel?
Right. I mean, like you said, right, there are tools just doing, just social listening or community engagement and then claiming to be omnichannel. That's one element. But the main part, what everyone needs to understand is that one solution that can get in contact centers, the integrated within it, or that can have CRM integrations where if you have a data repository where everything is stored, you need to send in information there. Or even if you have marketing automation tools where you want to create a lead, send some information. So having that one view basically revolves around all of your different systems talking to each other.
Right.
If you have that one system that's talking to different systems, that's what is truly omnichannel at the end of the day. And you can have various workflows, right? You can use something like Salesforce where you can then send information from Konnect Insights, for example, where social interactions are sent there. Or if you can also integrate contact centers within Konnect Insights with different applications. So that's how it works. And that's where the truly omnichannel story plays an important role, and having one unified view of a single customer writing across different channels.
Right. I mean, to see for the audience, it's easy to understand when we say one view of the customer across channels. What we want to do in today's podcast is to give some examples of the customers where you have been part of it or your team has been part of it, and how they kind of moved from a point solution siloed approach to an omnichannel piece. So That's what we'll do. But, this is what we did in the first two podcasts when Meldon was there with me. What we spoke about was that every single brand out there, they use these tools for sure. Okay.
Yeah.
They'll for sure have a CRM platform, right? Could be Salesforce or Microsoft Dynamics.
Yes.
They'll for sure have a contact center so that they can speak to the customers on phone. They'll surely have chatbots or a team that handles chats. They'll have email team for sure, right?
Yeah.
And they'll interact with the customers on social channels. Am I missing any channel other than that? Maybe side that comes from open online web.
Online.
So these are all touch points from where the customers reach out to. And you have channels like your Quora, Reddit, Trustpilot,
And I think Google's Williams,
even the app reviews and all that stuff. So let's say if Konnect Insights does everything that is non-voice for that, right? Then you have emails and then you have calls and chatbots and stuff. Now, is there one tool that does everything? Maybe it will compromise on a few things. If it's a great social listening and a non-voice platform like Konnect Insights, if we try to build a contact center, we might not get good at it.
Exactly.
So the best of the best is what the customers use. They might use something like Genesis, Avaya, and stuff like that for contact centers or Nonarity, and because they are really good at it. Then our approach has been that, don't change what you're using, but unify everything with Konnect Insights. So the question really is, because people use point solutions and when they migrated to Konnect Insights, what was the experience? Can you give some examples of maybe some brands that you can think of? What were they doing earlier and what are they doing now?
Absolutely. I mean, one of the major things, and I was talking to one of the brands the other day where they were giving me a pain point that they are using a social listening platform. But the major challenge that they're facing is at times they're generating leads from there. But those leads are untouched because a customer is coming in giving some information, but they manually cannot handle that. They're using some Excel sheets, which does not really work, right?
Yeah.
So the main thing that they're trying to focus on, or they were looking at, and which we are trying to solve for them, is that even though your customer comes on social, you're using a social listening tool and you get customer information and like a mobile number, email, how about you integrate it with your CRM and then send that contact as a lead? Those are the kind of use cases as one example. And then, like you said, we're not asking brands to eliminate some platform, probably using a contact center. If you need that one view, let's integrate that. That could be like an approach. Or if you have a CRM where you want everything to be handled within a CRM, like something like Salesforce, which we have one of the biggest airline customers who are using the Salesforce CRM. And after Social Studio sunset, they wanted a solution that can fit in and they want everything within Salesforce. The reason why they wanted that was, again, they wanted to save time and efforts.
Right.
Agent training, which is, again, a very important thing because you can't have people move from one tool to another and then just increase that process. So what they did was all social interactions within Salesforce as a case. You have field mapping, which is very advanced, like mobile number, email. So you map it to your Salesforce contact and then have that one unified view. Even if so, and one of the major things, what social tools or social listening tools are not able to solve, what we have done it is if a customer reaches on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, then, based on that mobile number, email, giving you that conversation history across channels. Because, and this is like a journey that we talk about, that a customer, if they've lost their baggage or anything, just a random example, but they come and reach out to you and they reach out on multiple channels because as a panic customer, my mind's not working and I just want to spam all the channels and get a resolution. And then if you at that point ask customer for unnecessary information, it just irates them even more over and above the issue that they're facing. So that is where having that one view plays an important role, I guess.
There's just two things that came out of this. One is that field mapping that you spoke about. Let's talk more about it. And the second is you spoke about, a customer coming on social channels, multiple social channels. Just tell us more about it. But this is what the question really is. Let's say I come on Twitter and tweet something about the issue that I have. Typically, the reply that comes from the brand is, "Thank you for reaching out. Can you please share us with more information?" And at this point in time, when I'm really angry, what I don't stop there. What I do is I might as well write an email to them. And if I see, for instance, a Facebook post that they have done, I'll go and comment on it. It can be a promotional post of for them on Facebook, but I'll talk about my issue. That happens.
Absolutely, that's very common.
That's very common.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I might go on Instagram and also, that.
All channels.
So that's what the customers do. And the problem that we have seen with a lot of other products that use only social, they still don't give that one view across.
Yes.
Because I am something else on Twitter. My ID is Samir Narkar on Twitter. It's Konnect with Samir on Instagram. And my ID is PD Samir on Facebook. Right?
Yeah.
And so you obviously will not
Never identified.
So what is the way to unify it?
Yeah.
And if it has been unified once, for source, for instance, will next time everything of me come as
Yes.
one contact? Can you elaborate more?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the major things that brands, usually a customer who's irritated does, is that if I have an issue, I'll go drop in a public post. Public post is very common. On Twitter, you'll drop in a Twitter mention. Facebook, you'll go and drop a comment on their post. And the first time I do that, after that, and even for me as an experience, because customer experience will then prove how it works at that point. Because if I get the brand will reach out saying that, okay, give me your details, and in the DM, because you cannot publicly ask for that.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is, okay, public post came in. I send a DM to the customer asking for details. And then I also reply to that public post telling the customer that, hey, I've asked you for information, share that information with us. So that's the first journey. Now, as a customer, I'll give you my information, mobile number, email. That mobile number, email will automatically be synced as a contact, because what Connected Sites will do is that we create user profiles. Basically, every time a user writes, it creates a contact profile. Yes. And then that information will be saved against that. And then if the same user writes on another channel, again, it will pick up that information if it's provided by the customer, and it will again unify that. Now, under the conversation history, you'll have that one view seeing that, okay, Eryl probably or Samir came on Twitter, came on Facebook, and he still has a case open on Facebook or still has a case open on Twitter. Now, as an agent perspective, that gives me more idea or more understanding that, okay, this user has written at this point on 2 channels. Let's unify it. Let's have one channel where I'm talking to, and let me just give the right resolution. It's not that multiple people dealing with the same customer and asking for same questions, and then it just, as experience, it just detonates.
So now this is done one time.
Yeah.
The contact is created, a Samir Narkar contact is created, then all my conversation history is in one place. And I really look at one contact
Yes.
and one brand, one issue,
Yeah.
and no matter what the channels are.
Exactly. And apart from that, you also get the user analytics to understand what categories the user has spoken about. Because if I'm reaching out about refund or if I'm reaching out baggage, you need to understand that as well. Like in the past, what type of queries the user has written.
And you can get all kinds of analytics.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's where the category analysis plays. You also be able to understand that if this is a user, what's the sentiment of this user? In the past, is it positive? Is it negative? Total messages. And those are like important insights for the agent at that point.
Exactly.
I mean, it's also about the agent and how they can handle it.
And one more important is that, let's say if you're doing a profiling and you're kind of having one contact view, you can also see what my previous CSATs.
Exactly.
I mean, if I'm someone who has given you 4.5 rating as on an average, you as an agent would be more interested in serving because then I'm going to give you
Yes. And agents are incentivized on that and stuff. So that's what in their mentality at that point is also similar.
So you mentioned about CRM integration also. So is it mandatory to always have a CRM, or still we can do that with
it? So you do not need a CRM always. Like if you have this, and if you're using all of this for social or emails probably, or even calls, for example, if you want contact center to be, call center to be integrated here, you can still handle that. Right. And if the CRM integration is there, then well and good. You have
So what more can we get with CRM integration? Because let's take an example, because we know that there's a airport brand which uses Konnect Insights as a whole system, as a central system where all the data terminates, and that there's an airlines brand which uses Salesforce, right?
Yeah.
For everything as one view. So we kind of push data over there and kind of iframe it and then give you that experience. So there would be brands who would say, I want this workflow, and there will be certain brand who would say, I want this kind of workflow, and really your no code mechanisms really make it possible, right? I just shared
yes,
can little bit talk about the technical aspects.
Right. I mean, like you rightly said, the NN that we're working with wants everything within the CRM. Yeah. But there are certain brands who say that, okay, I get so much of data on a daily basis. I do not want everything there. Yeah. I just want critical complaints related to, probably delivery issues or complaints related to our product being damaged. Because that is where my CRM team who's working on field as well can go ahead and make some changes. So that's the kind of thing. So that is that what we do is that, okay, just send negative data to Salesforce, negative, because we have sentiment analysis, which is AI based. So that helps you just send negative conversations. Or probably if someone's talking about delivery related issues, based on the classification or category, we'll just send delivery related conversations to Salesforce. And then you can route it to different teams, different queues. Because when we send data to the CRM, we don't control the routing over there. We send it there and then they use their omnichannel routing or how they want to route cases. So that's the beauty of it. You get that native experience of your CRM. And if you're using our product, then our automation rules are, amazing in terms of sending those conversations or interactions to different applications. Yeah.
I mean, very complex scenarios, right? Because brands really decide what workflows they want. And so this is a mantra at Konnect Insights. We say that we won't come with a fixed solution that you'll have to implement it this way because this is the way we offer the software. I don't think that's the real agile way of shipping software or SaaS products.
Yeah.
The SaaS product should really be that, we are completely flexible. It can be done in 10 different ways and it can be done without any customization but rather configurations, and it's done with absolutely no code because there are so many, APIs, and it's technically speaking, it's kind of a lot of effort that has gone behind the scenes to make it technically available. And today, the brands can really go ahead and build those workflows. One more thing that you spoke about was field mapping. What's that? Just explain this.
Right. So what happens when you're talking about two systems, and this could be any system. We can do field mapping with any ops. You can do it with CRMs. If your contact center allows you to send some information, we can do it with that as well. Okay. So field mapping is nothing but if me as a user, I have reached out to a brand and you've asked me for my information, and then you identified me as like a high level, a high category, P1, P2, anything, priorities or severities. So you want to send that information to your other platform. Now I'll give you an example. In one of the use cases, what we try to solve is the brand treated conversations wherever their CEO or CXOs were mentioned on Twitter or LinkedIn, they treated that as extremely important conversations. So what we did when we were sending that information to the CRM, we passed a field saying that, okay, this is a conversation where the CEO or CXO is tagged because of their username or some kind of information. And then when we send that information, it becomes easy for the CRM to then internally run some triggers because that's critical information. So if I pass that at that real time, you then on your CRM trigger some workflows that sends an escalation to higher management so that they can, try to solve that. Because lately I've realized, and it's different in different regions, because regions like Middle East, for example, Twitter is huge over there. Saudi has Twitter, which is really huge. People, even they have Twitter bots and stuff like that, which is again an important thing in that region. But compare it to other regions, the trends are a bit different. And every region has its own trend. Every region has their own special channel.
Like Southeast Asia, it's
Facebook. Yes, Facebook. You have Line, you have Viber, which are again important channels. And that the beauty is that we solve everything. We get you one channel that what product does everything. Exactly. And that is when, if I have these channels and conversations coming in, I send triggers to the CRM so that then I can internally run some kind of alerts and alert the team that, okay, there's high priority, take this up. Because then SLAs come into the picture, right? If you run an SLA that, okay, if my top manager mentioned, then reply has to be done within 5 minutes or within 10 minutes because those are metrics that the top management looks into.
Talking of metrics, what kind of hero insights, if I may call it, are important when it comes to CX? Let's talk of social first and then try and understand that across other platforms as well.
I mean, the main metrics for social would be something like CSAT, NPS, SLAs, because social media, what I've realized working with brands is that they treat social media comparatively, because calling is just one-to-one, right? Emails, again, people can't see that. But social is treated with such importance that if I drop a public tweet, that reply has to be done within 5 minutes if it consists of...
It's not just you and me talking.
Yes, it's the word
we are talking and I'm telling the...
And usually the trend is that as a customer, and I've really spoken to people where they're like, if I'm having an issue, I will go to Twitter, bombard Twitter.
We all have that.
And that's, I think when that happens, the brand takes it so seriously that, okay, this conversation came in, reply within 5 minutes, within 10 minutes. That's a kind of first reply time. So that's where your AHT, your first reply time, second reply time, average response time basically.
AHT as in?
Average handling time. Then you have average response time, first response time, second response, average replies done on. And then what we saw is we have the case management ticketing system basically for social media conversations. So that is where also it plays an important role that, okay, how quickly you've closed tickets. So what's your average close time, average resolve time, so many other metrics.
But aren't these metrics also applicable for other platforms? Like I would do the same with contact center.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. I mean, you'll have these metrics like AHT and various other metrics, right? Your handling time and your call forwarding, ACW, I think that's one of the metric. So you have various metrics like these even for contact center. And as having that unified reporting again comes into the picture. I think we'll come to that.
We'll come to that. So, the problem statement that we were talking about, right? Brands never thought of having even reporting in one view.
Yeah.
I mean, if I am someone who looks at a contact center report and later on look at a social report or anything related to my customer care, I would still say it in different platforms.
Yeah.
I wouldn't still say it as one unified report because I need to take decisions based on this.
Yeah.
For example, how many calls are handled by my agents in 4 hours? Okay, versus how many social tickets my agents can handle. It's an important metric for me. How many resolutions have happened on social or email, or how many have happened on calls and chats, is something that I need to see in one unified dashboard. Otherwise, I'll not be able to make decisions.
Yeah.
I need also AI insights that says that, to solve 500 queries in a month, you needed, let's say, 40 agents on a contact center that resulted into, X dollars. Versus solving 5,000 queries on social media took only 10 agents, right? And I need those 10 of it, yes. And we have developed something of that sort, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Can know a bit more about it.
Yes, right. I mean, the Omnichannel report basically solves one major element, is that having different channels insights under a single report.
Yeah.
That's where it all begins. Now, because we are doing social, we will have all the social insights.
Right.
Now, what we did was for brands who we integrated with contact center or probably CRMs, what we then tried to solve is, okay, you have emails, you have calls, you have social, and you have bots, digital bots, and all of these. And bots could be across. You have bots on some of the regions. You have bots on social media. You have bots on websites. You have even in-app chat and stuff like that. So get everything here and have one report, which will give you a insight that, okay, you selected each range last 30 days. And then it gives you a report saying that in the last 30 days, you received 11 emails or, let's say 30 emails.
That's very less.
Yeah. So you had emails and then you had X number of calls. And because you have more users required on calls, so everyone will have a lot.
It's one-to-one. Like, yes, if I'm talking to you on a call, I can only talk to you.
Yes, so you need more number of people. Yeah, so and then social again, like you rightly said, the volume of users could be a bit lesser because you have automation that's volume of agents. Yes, volume of agents would be lesser. So having everything under one view and then giving you that volume trend. That okay, you have one chart that shows you the SOV, that okay, this was conversations that came on emails, which were like 10,000. Social media tickets were like 50,000, and number of calls were like, let's say, 5,000. So that's the kind of report that they want under a single dashboard. Like single dashboard is important because then these reports and dashboards are presented to, the top management, because when they are having their reviews, like monthly reviews or quarterly reviews, they see those insights. And then for social, they also understand sentiment, because sentiment analysis for social media plays, and you can also have sentiment now. Yes, for calls and for even emails and chats as well. So that's the classification. Yeah, and category analysis. Yes, category analysis tell you, okay, if there were calls, if there were emails or social, these are the most spoken categories for emails or most spoken categories for calls. That gives you a clear idea on to make changes on an operational level. And this is what I always tell brands, that how can you identify these and make changes on an operational level? Because if a bank is receiving a lot of conversations about loans on social media where people are complaining, it's important for them to understand that why is this happening, which region is this happening from, where the customer is talking from, what is that branch that it's coming from. So then I can make some change on operational result. I think that's only possible with category analysis. And we've seen certain banks that we're working with do category analysis on so many levels, right? Like you have state, city, and you just keep deep diving into different levels. Yes. And those are also possible because custom fields, custom classifications.
Yeah.
I mean, that plays an important role actually. Yeah.
I mean, if we have to summarize anything, when we speak about one view of the customer or customer 360 omnichannel, people think of it that, yes, I can see everything in one conversation history, but there's a lot more to it, as you rightly mentioned about all the analytics that you can have in omnichannel and stuff like that. What's important? What's the role of marketplace, app marketplace?
Yep, I think that's like a very important thing to note, because without app marketplace, having just a siloed approach, you have like some of the cases where we tried to help brands solve this and I hear a very interesting thing comes to my mind. A brand that we started working with started using our product for all social media interactions.
Yeah.
And we didn't even know about this, that they went in from our marketplace, explored it, integrated with Slack, for example. Then we came
Slack for notifications.
Yes, for others, like political conversations, because they were very active on Slack. And they had a channel.
There was one brand which also did Dropbox.
Yes. Absolutely.
Just plug and play.
Yes. And, they didn't even ask us for help. And that's the beauty of it, because when you have that plug and play approach, I think that's where you can do wonders. Like, brands can just go explore, use, because you get the entire solution. You have everything that you can make use of. And we want brands to use it for and integrate it with different applications. So that was like an important part. And it's good that you brought that up also. And the marketplace approach, without a marketplace, I think brands will struggle. Because then we have custom developments, and that is time taking. Sometimes custom development does not even pass the UAD
because it's not tried and tested.
Not tried and tested.
And the other problem is many times the brands don't really know what they want.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of lack of clarity in how things should be done. And if you have done it for 10 different brands, I think we come as consultants to also explain them what really
right. Yeah, and this is a very interesting part, because we're working with this brand who has integrated Konnect Insights within their contact center.
Yeah.
And they had a requirement. So their requirement was, I have this loyalty program, and based on my loyalty program, there are some premium customers who reach out on social or even reach out on call. It started with call. And, the person I was talking to, the director of customer experience there, he had a very good vision that, okay, I've done this for social. I want to replicate this. I've done it for call. I want to replicate this for social, where if a customer reaches out on social media and gives the information like mobile number, email, you will send that data to my contact center. But I am using a CRM where I have the information whether this customer is a premium customer or not a premium customer.
Right.
And if it is a premium customer, I want you to get that information from the CRM. And then if this customer writes in the future, send their data to a special queue where I have experienced agents, or where the wait time is lesser over there. So that's possible when you have ready integrations. Like we developed, or we didn't even
design right code for it. That was my next question. Like how much time it took for us to implement?
Yeah, this was really quick. I mean, we did this within like 2 to 3 days, and they were live. In just the testing part. Yes. I mean, they just wanted to test it, understand it, and we were live. And that's the kind of things that is possible only with marketplace approach, because you built your product in a way where it's scalable. It's not,
And you also get cases where we will say that, okay, fine, I want data to be pushed to CRM, but if I go ahead and classify there, then I want that information back in your product as well.
Exactly.
If I close a ticket here, I want that information back in your product as well.
Right.
Some other brand would say, no, I don't want that. Right. So these are all configurable. Right? There's something that is REST API. Right?
Yes.
And you don't really have to go and write code.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of app.
Exactly. I remember before this, I was just sending an email to one of my customers where they had this, they gave me the requirement yesterday that, okay, we have an integration with the CRM. So if a case comes in, and if a case is, you will receive the status from my CRM. So when the user in my CRM changes the status of a case to close or resolve or review, you will receive that back, because we built it in that way. So if you receive that information back, after 7 days, you auto close that case.
Right.
Because if the customer writes again after 7 days, I want a new case, not in the same one. So that was possible. And I said to them, really, it's done. Because it is that quick. Yeah. I mean, I did not have to sit and, ask people that, okay, we need this, start the work. I'll take a week's time. It was as quick as that.
And no release of products.
Yes, no, not at all. Yeah.
I think that's the beauty of app market. Because I think we should really give a lot of credit to all the techies.
Yeah, definitely.
So great. I think we covered some important points today where various use cases were discussed.
Yes.
I think we should also talk more about AI. I mean, that's something that we'll cover in the next topic, maybe.
Absolutely.
When we'll have some more experts talking about
Yeah.
AI in our next topic.
Yes.
I think this was great insights, and I think our audience really must have enjoyed talking with Eryl. Thank you so much, and we'll connect again in the next episode. Till then, happy connecting.